Should you be wide? Should you be narrow? When you're pressing or rowing, should you hold the bar out here or should you hold it in front of your shoulders? Should you hold it high up, low down? How is it done? Yo, what's up guys? This is Greg from the Force Training Academy. I'm standing in the middle of Korriban. We have a beautiful question from Crystal. She's saying that she has a solid bench press and a solid form, but she read it online and was given the advice in person as well that she should go wider. So she has a different muscle recruitment. She's recruiting less of her shoulders and more of her chest in the bench press. So she went wider and it completely fucked up her form and she lost half of her strength and power and she just cannot get used to it. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel familiar. What should she do? What tips we have to give her? Well, first of all, Crystal, you're not alone and you didn't do anything wrong. Okay, you did everything good. You heard an advice, you tested it, you saw it if it's working for you. Obviously it didn't. Now that's where the job is finished. This is what you've done just now. This is the main component of human development, not just in fitness, but in everything else in life. You look out for new techniques, you look out for new methods and for new tips. You find them, you implement them, you test them. If they work, good, keep them. If they don't work, ditch them. If they work better than the current ones you're using, then you implement them as fast as you can. That's it. That's all how it works. You want to know as much possibilities and as many methods as humanly possible as you can remember, and you want to use the best of them. But what's not working, don't keep it, don't ponder on them, don't try to figure them out. Check on them, throw them out. Okay, that's advice number one. Advice number two, what I can give you is this. Here, I base my teaching methods on science. I don't base it on opinions and internet articles. I base them on biomechanics, okay? And one of the most important factors when you're working with the shoulder is stabilization of the joint, what happens through external rotation. So you would apply external rotational torque to the thing you're using. You could use an overhead bar. You would use an external rotational torque to it to stabilize, which means you're trying to bend the bar from the shoulder. You could use a barbell, the same applies. You could try to bend the bar from the shoulder. You could do push-ups on the floor, it applies the same. You would try to rotate the floor under your arm. Same applies to the feet when you're doing squats. This is just the way human body works. It stabilizes these mobile joints through external rotation when you're flexing and stabilizes these mobile joints through internal rotation when you're extending. So when you're flexing the shoulder, that is, the arm is in front of the hand as it is in the bench press, you would externally rotate to get that joint stable and to gain more strength and also to align the scapula on the upper back correctly. That obviously means that if you apply this external rotational torque, the elbow travels beside the torso. Now, how much it travels beside the torso is a matter of a personal preference, depends on your strength and on your load. I find it with my athletes and with myself as well that the stronger you get, the closer the elbow travels to the torso, because the more rotational torque you can apply. The heavier weight you lift, that is, in the certain task you're doing, the weaker you are in a certain task you're doing, so to say, the more the elbows are flaring up, okay? So if you're lifting something ridiculously light, then you're able to flush the elbows beside the torso, get the shoulders down just by applying that external rotational torque enough. If the load is getting extremely heavy, then the internally rotating component of the pressing, that is the fact that you're shortening the pecs and they internally rotate the shoulder, overcomes the resistance of your external rotators to a certain degree. Therefore, your shoulder starts internally rotating to a certain degree. That brings the elbow away from the torso. That's what it is. So how much you should keep your elbow beside the torso? As much as you can, as long as you're not focusing on the elbow but focusing on the shoulder. This is the key here. As long as you're not focusing on the elbow but you're focusing on the shoulder. The elbow position is simply a byproduct or a cue to generate that external rotation in the shoulder. Okay, so that works excellent in stabilizing the presses, stabilizing the pull-ups. And the reason I like to teach that, and the reason I like to keep that as a basic principle, because you can use it in any exercise you're performing with your upper body. So you can use it in pull-ups, you can use it in push-ups, you can use it in bench presses, any type of rows. You can use it in even deadlifts. You can use it in Romanian deadlifts. You can use it in anything, any exercise where your shoulder griddle is under load or needs to be stabilized. Okay, so take this advice, and for now I would say stick with the form you can use and you can train in. Keep testing. You might just come across something what you can use, and it will revolutionize your training methods. You have time for it. Probably most of the cues and ideas you will come across will be bullshit. But if you find one single cue in your life that revolutionizes everything and doubles your lift, it was already worth trying. Good luck.